when we are thinking or yes, contemplating the innovative bioeconomy bio-based product, so the more innovative, the more complex it is, as Blanche would put it on his list of the problems. And one of the problems or one of the challenges you entrepreneur with very innovative bio-based products has is also consumers' trust, I would say, and it is also the standards that need to be applied that the product corresponds to yeah to what it is meant to be, and when it is well, for instance, in term when we are talking about the biochemicals, usually it is replacing something which is fossil-based, and it should be just as good or even better than the original one, and this is where a very important step comes in. I'm talking about the standardization and certification of bio-based products. And for this, we are really very glad that we have with us today Harmen Willemse, who is with the Dutch Standardization Institute. Harmen is leading the Better Biomass Certification Scheme at this institution, and probably he's one of the key persons that can let's say open this issue to us, and yeah, shows us some solutions to the certification and standardization. So, Harmen, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks for this kind introduction, Luca. You should be able to see my screen now. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, currently I'm a freelance consultant. So a bit of an entrepreneur myself, with a focus on development of standards and development of certification systems. And before I started as independent consultant, I worked at NEN, the Dutch Standards Institute, for about 10 years. And now NEN is one of my customers. So that's how it can go. And so today I will present about two certification schemes that I am managing on their behalf. One for sustainability of biomass, it's called Better Biomass, and one for the bio-based content. Yeah, and I have about 15 minutes, so till 14:40. And a bit about the past. So when I still worked at NEN, in the period of 2011 until 2017, I was the secretary of a CEN, European Technical Committee, Standards Committee, that developed a set of standards for bio-based products. And that was based on a mandate and assignments from the European Commission to CEN to develop these standards. So the European Commission actually asked for a set of standards for bio-based products. And that is very interesting because standards and innovation go together very well. Standards can, when they are developed properly, can actually support the development, can actually support innovation because they give certain levels of certainty, and they can allow exchange between actors in the market. And that's exactly what was done. We started in 2011, and then bio-based economy, bio-based products was really in an early stage, and we really set up a whole set of standards to support that, starting with terminology and measurement methods, and yeah, I think everything supported the bio-based economy to where it is now. And one of the key issues when you talk about bio-based products is that there are many characteristics that you can talk about. And if you talk about different perspectives, everybody has different things, different aspects that they think are important about bio-based products. Some talk about life cycle analysis, others talk about the bio-based content. You can speak about biodegradability, you can speak about toxicity, marine biodegradability, and there are also a lot of misconceptions in the market. When a product is bio-based, often people think that it is automatically biodegradable, marine biodegradable, non-toxic, etc. But these are all different characteristics that stand on themselves. I mean, there are bio-based does not automatically mean that it's non-toxic, and bio-based does not mean that it's automatically biodegradable. So when you talk about a bio-based product, there are a lot of different aspects that you need to communicate in addition to the fact that it's bio-based, and you need to go into detail about all of these aspects, and you could even develop standards for all of these aspects. Today, I will talk about two main issues, and not meaning that the other ones like biodegradability, etc., are not important, but we will just focus on these. And these are the two starting points, I think, when you talk about bio-based products. And the first question that you need to ask is, what is the bio-based share in the product or material? Because I will show that later, a bio-based product is defined as a product that is wholly or partially derived from biomass. So it contains a certain percentage of bio-based content. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100% bio-based, which makes it easier to develop a bio-based product, but also makes it a bit more confusing in the marketplace when you speak about the bio-based products. So that is why it's important to always first ask the question, okay, nice, you have a bio-based product, what is the bio-based share? And the second question you need to ask is the biomass that is used from sustainable resources? Where is the biomass coming from? And in general, you are developing bio-based products because you want to contribute to a better world. And this should not mean that you use biomass from sources that are not sustainable and have a similar negative impact as fossil, because then you have not moved forward. So these are the two questions that I will address, and because we have for each question we have a different certification scheme and a different standard, and these two questions are very complementary. So we start with the bio-based content certificate. So what is the bio-based share in the product? And this is actually based on one of the 11 standards that was developed in the CEN technical committee that I led. It is this standard, EN 16785 Part 1, and it presents a method to determine the bio-based content. And based on that, we developed a certification scheme. So companies that are certified can use this label on their products, and this 100% will be adapted to any percentage that they are actually certified for. So it can be anything between 1 and 100. And the system takes into account not only the bio-based carbon, but also the other bio-based elements that are bound to the carbon, so hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. And this, if you talk about communication in the market, is of course a very clear way of communicating the bio-based content in your product. The label also foresees that you have to clearly state what your claim is on. Is it about the package or the product, or a part of the product, like the cap of a bottle or the label of a bottle, because you can easily get confused. And here is the certificate number that needs to be entered, so that's all traceable. So how does it work? So a bio-based product is consisting of biomass, and biomass is consisting of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, maybe some other elements, but we don't look at them, and a certain amount of fossil material, or none at all. But assuming it's a mix, then your bio-based products will be a mix of bio-based elements and fossil elements. And as I said, a European and one of the other European standards that we developed, this one defines a bio-based product as a product that's wholly or partly derived from biomass. By the way, I have a set of terms and definitions that is part of this standard that can be shared for free. I will share it afterwards with the project for putting it on the page. So how does it work? Determination of bio-based content. You take radiocarbon analysis. That is C14. That's the same system you use for archaeological findings for dating them. And you do an other elemental analysis. It gets really technical. I can explain details later if that's if you want to know. But just remember that it's based on analysis of all of these elements. And then, so when you have applied the methods, you have the bio-based products, and there's you have the elements in it. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Some of them are bio-based, and some of them are fossil. And you take the bio-based shares and divide it by the total amount of the elements, and then you have your bio-based content as a percentage of the total dry mass of the product. And that's what it is, the bio-based content. Companies can be certified for that, and there's a website where you can see all the certified products and more details about the process. Yeah, and this is a list of. So this is one of the pages you can find with a list of certified companies, along with the percentage that they're certified for. So everything is traceable, and these are the certification bodies that actually issue the certificates, and it can be used all over Europe or even worldwide. Second part, better biomass. So the question is, second question, is it from sustainable sources? We also have a certification scheme and a standard for that. And that is also, it already was developed around 2009, 2010. And by then, the biomass already started to become global business. And we saw the importance to develop a certificate for the sustainability, because we wanted to make sure that our initiatives to contribute to a better world, to avoid use of fossil resources, will not lead to other negative effects elsewhere in the world, such as deforestation, etc. So it's a certification scheme. It's for all types of biomass and for all kinds of applications except food and feed. So it's for electricity, heating, and transport fuel. That's actually where we started, and we included bio-based products along the way. So it can be used for the biomass for all of these applications. And how does it work? If you want to certify the source, of course, here the sustainability criteria apply. But then you need to make sure that this certificate is transferred to the end of the chain. So all the steps in the chain need to be certified. Here it's about sustainability. Here it's more about chain of custody, about tracing this amount of biomass until it goes into the end of the chain in a product or in a fuel. Why is this necessary? Well, if you can make money from biomass that is sustainable, it can be, it's important to ensure that this is the same amount of biomass that goes through the chain, and not that suddenly there's more biomass appearing here because people can make money out of it. So you need to trace it. It's called a chain of custody. What are the sustainability criteria? So what is certified here at the source? What do you know at the end of the chain about the source material? Well, it's not just about sustainability in a sense of planet, but also socio-economic factors. So also no child labor and etc. This is an overview of the basic principles which are developed into auditable requirements. It's about greenhouse gas and carbon sinks. It's about not endangering local food supply and other applications of local biomass. You don't want to take that away from the local population. It's about protecting the biodiversity. It's about protecting soil quality. It's about making sure that there's no depletion of ground and surface water. Also about maintaining the air quality and the socio-economic aspects, that the production of biomass must contribute to local prosperity and social well-being of the employees. So it is sustainability in the broader sense, not just nature, but people, planet, and profit. That's the fundamental. We developed that into auditable requirements. That's sort of it in a nutshell. How do companies get certified? Well, they need to, of course, read the documents and make sure that they comply with the requirements. And then there's an audit, which is 2 phases. And then there's the granting of a certificate by the certification body, if you comply, of course. And then the certificate is maintained. So there's a surveillance audit, which is like a lighter check every year, and recertification within 5 years, because you don't just need to comply with the criteria at the day you're audited, but for the entire duration of the certificate. So that's checked in this way. There are documents on the website. The whole set consists of 2 standards actually with the requirements. So what do the companies need to comply with? What are the criteria that apply to them, which are one part about sustainability, the other about the chain of custody requirements, so along the chain. And then there's a 3rd document which describes the process of auditing. So what are the requirements for the auditing process? And every certification scheme, so any system that's behind any label or certificate that you know of, should have these 2 elements in one way or another. A set of requirements that the companies or products or people that are certified need to comply with, and another document or another part of a document that describes how the auditing process goes and what the requirements are for the auditing and for the auditors. You always find it back, and you always need to look for that when you check a certification system. It's all there at the website if you want to read more, and this is what the website looks like. I think that was that's my last slide. So you can check here for more information. And that should be the overview of addressing the 2 questions about the bio-based content and about sustainability.
Yes, great. Thank you very much.